Shalom, Pastor Hawk, I'm back at you with this truth. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, El Shai Bashem, Kodash. Anyway, this is just GMS Thinking Out Loud. I don't have any real topic. Anyway, I'm going through different videos trying to get ideas and putting in certain phrases in Google. And I come across, the pull down menu. When you hit the pull down menu, let me do this. And nothing comes up. But anyway, sometimes you hit the pull down menu and a bunch of different YouTube pages that come up or whatever. But GOCC came up. So I, went to the page and he had a bunch of music videos. And this is the latest video that he did. So I'm listening to it. And I'm not going to play it because he's the type of cat that would, flag my video. It says demonic plans for the inner city. But he opens up by singing a song about the tribes. And from the opening of this thing, I guess 2-3 minutes in, he's singing and then he's going through the tribes. And he says, he makes a statement, I think, before. Give me a second. Forgive me for that. Anyway, so in this video right here, you listen to the first, 2-3 minutes or so. I didn't listen to the rest. And he mentions the Jews first and then also the Gentiles, something to that effect. And when he says Gentiles, he's talking about the actual Gentiles. This is why this man right here is not going to make it unless he repents. And we don't see this guy repenting because he's been teaching this nonsense for years. He started with the flea doctrine and he messed a lot of people up with that flea doctrine. And like I said, we didn't say, oh, you know what? We hadn't gotten on Elder Ricard at GOCC in a while. Let's start getting on him. No, it's the spirit, man. It's the spirit. But anyway, he mentions the Jew with a mean look on his face, the Jews first and the Gentiles. And he's not talking about other Israelites in the Gentile state of mind. And then what else did he say? Then he started going into the tribes. And he says, what does he say? Benjamin is a West Indian, Judah is the Negroes or whatever. And then he gets to Reuben. And Reuben, I think he says, are the Australians. When the scriptures say this in Jeremiah, like I said, this is a thinking out loud, so I don't know where I'm going to go to. Let me see how I'm going to do this. Okay, let me just do it from here. All right. Let me go to the blue letter. Yeah, I forgot where I was going to go. Blue letter. Let's just go to the blue letter. So we got that open. So let's come back over here. Demonic plans. Okay, here it is. You see the drop down menu? It's a Breakfast Club, Canelo, Tariq Nasheed, Canelo Alvarez, GOCC, Blue Bloods TV, Sakari, Barbershop. So these are recent videos, YouTube videos I watched. So it comes up. So I believe this was up on the top. But maybe it was right here, but I said GOCC. Anyway, when he said Australians are Reuben, I said, what? And then I thought about the scripture. So I got the blue letter here, and it's Jeremiah. It's either Jeremiah 50 or Jeremiah 51. I'm almost positive it's 51, but let's find out. Okay, yeah, you know what? I didn't want this one, but I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna go through this. Let me just proofread this here. Okay, it's in 33rd verse. But anyway, what I'm gonna do is, and this is a great chapter right here. This is a great chapter. Two of my favorites among many other favorites, Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 51. Now, when you read it, scholars will say it's talking about, ancient Babylon. But if it's talking about ancient Babylon, let me go to the 33rd verse. Like I said, I'm thinking out loud, so I don't have any particular topic. I'm just going with the spirit. Okay, so let's take out Jeremiah. Let's read it. It says, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Yasha'ala, Wa Ha Bunyam Yahawada, that says were oppressed together. It says, thus saith the Lord, Waya Amar Yahweh. I'm trying to get that Hebrew back. It says the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives, held them fast. They refused to let them go. So we know that when it says the children of Israel, we can say, okay, that's talking about Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all the rest of the tribes. But it says the children of Yashar'Allah and the children of Judah. So we know that that's the separation. We know about the separation story, the two kingdoms. And the scriptures speak about the kingdoms coming back. If you go to Ezekiel chapter 37, it speaks about the plank. Take one stick, and that word in the Hebrew translates into the word plank. So it's not actually a stick. And write upon it for Judah and his companion, and take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim and his companion, then join those two planks together and they will become one in your hand. Now, this has never been fulfilled there's no evidence of Ezekiel putting a sign together and walking around with the sign, and people ask him, what about the sign? It's talking about us now. The things that are written aforetime before our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. That's what is that, Romans 15:4, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can put it in the description box. Anyway, so when he said Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians. And then he said, Reuben, he said, Reuben, the Australians. So, but I said, wait a minute. It says that Israel is going to be, Judah and Israel is going to be oppressed together. So they're going to be together. Now, anytime I go into the hood, and you know, you ain't going to see a sign saying welcome to the hood. You just know when you're in the hood. You know, you see dilapidated houses. You see Jake. You might see a couple of homeless people. You see a couple of bodegas. You know, you'll see Jake. But now when you see Jake, you see Judah walking down the street. He might be with his girl. Then you might see an Issacharite walking the dog. And then you might see an Ephraimite with his girl walking down the street or whatever. And then you might see a so-called Ecuadorian, getting in his car or something like that. And anytime I go into the hood, I see that. And I look at it, I observe. I'll see Jake. I'll see a Benjaminite with maybe dreadlocks. He might be talking to somebody and with his accent. And then you'll see Issachar. Then you'll see Gad, because you got a lot of Gad in the hood among Jakes. I grew up with this guy. I worked with this guy. Looked just like he was dark skinned. He was as dark as Apostle Gabar. Had woolly hair. He used to put the stocking cap on. This was back in the day, in the early 80s. And you would say he's a Negro. And I found out one day, we were just talking, me, him, and somebody else. And he said, I'm not black. He said, I'm Indian. I'm Cherokee. Now, years ago, we had went to the Shinnecock Reservation, Long Island, way out in Long Island, about 2 hours from the city. And the Shinnecock people look like Jake. A lot of them had short, cut, woolly hair, some of them. And then you can see how they would put, grease in their hair and make braids out of it, but you can see that it's woolly. You can see that they look like Negroes, but they were Gadites. So you see a lot of Jake walking down the street, and a lot of those Jakes are Gadites, man, and Reubenites. Anyway, it says, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah will press together, and all they took them captives, held them fast, that they refused to let them go. Now, who is this talking about? Let's come up here. Jeremiah 50, verse 1. The word that Yahweh spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. So what I'm going to do here, you know what? Let me do this. Yeah, so like when he said the Reubenites are the Australian, I said, what? And this is the first precept that popped into my head. I said, this guy, and then he's singing, and then he said some other things. You got to watch it. Like I said, I would let you hear it, but he's the type of cat that would flag my video. And I'm looking at him, and I'm saying, this dude got demons on him, man. This dude is filled with demons. He's demonically possessed. So anyway, this is what I normally do, right? Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me read all the verses that speak about, deal with the word together. It says in those days and in that time, saith Yahweh, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek Yahweh, their power. And that's what we're doing right now. That's what I've been doing this for going on, 36, 37 years. And many other brothers that came into this fold. So we've been doing this thing for years. We've been on YouTube for what, going on 15 years strong. There's never been a time where we wasn't doing videos. There was a particular time where YouTube just cut all our video. We would put up a video. The video wouldn't even get one view and they would cut it. There was a campaign against it. Then we had to go to Daily Motion. Then we came back to YouTube. Then YouTube started acting up again recently with the Crown Vic Royale and the jump shot. All right. So we had to use code words for that. And then we found Odyssey. You got sites that are similar to YouTube, Odyssey, and we all have accounts, or we all should have accounts on Odyssey. You do your controversial videos or controversy videos, inside joke. Anyway, let me keep reading. It says, in those days and in that time, saith Yahweh, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek Yahweh, their power. Let me look up the word weeping. You know, when you're weeping and crying, you're humbled. You got this big, strong, muscular man that goes to a funeral of his best friend or something like that, and he'll just break down. Well, he just became humble. Okay, so let me look up the word weeping. Baka, which means to weep, bewail, cry, shed tears, to weep. In grief, humiliation. So weeping means to humble yourself, or joy. You can win the lotto. This textbook I had years ago, they showed a picture and it looked like two people were crying, but they showed the bigger picture, and they said in the when you read under the picture, it said they just hit the lotto. But to me, it looked like they were crying, but they were crying and they were weeping in joy. So you can weep in joy, weep in humiliation. You're humiliated. You know, you're embarrassed by something. And that's what we're doing. We found out that we're Israelites, and we said, damn, we were going to this Christian church. We were believing in the white Jesus and so forth. They said to weep bitterly, to weep upon, embrace and weep, to bewail, lament, bewail. I'm just looking at some of these precepts. Okay, let me try this one. Genesis 23, verse 2. And Sarah died in Kirjath-ba. The same is Hebron in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. So he cried, man. He cried when she died. Genesis 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing? My father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. The Apostle Paul said he cried there bitterly. Let me look at this. I gotta go a couple. See, when you come into this truth, you have to come in as a new creature. The scriptures tell you that. You have to come in as a new man. You have to be renewed. You can't come in with that bullshit that you had. You was a gangbanger, drug dealer, a stick-up kid, you know, a serial adulterer, you know, a mo. When you come into this, you got to start. You must be born again. So a lot of these guys come in with their bullshit from the world and they try to hide it. They pack it away, but they keep it. And that's why they fall back off, because that shit from the world comes back out of you and we can see it, man. Okay, let me see what this is talking about. Okay, let me start at the 9th verse. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, but she kept them. And it came to pass when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, which they were cousins. They were cousins, and they were considered Syrians. And the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled a stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Lebanon, his mother's brother, which was Laban. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son, and she ran and told her father. So the first thing is Jacob kissed Rachel, right? And lifted up his voice and wept. So he fell in love. He fell in love with Rachel, but Laban pulled a fast one on him and gave his first daughter Leah to. He had to work 7 years. You know the whole story. But that was set up by the Most High, because the Most High wanted him to deal with both of the women and their handmaids, which were slaves. So you make a big deal about slavery and vocab when you hit him with Revelation 13, 9, and 10. He said, well, it's not talking about that. Well, what the hell else is it talking about? He never explains what it's talking about. Anyway, like I said, I'm just looking at this word, wept, which means to humble yourself, which means you did something shameful and you're crying for it. Esau does it all the time. When he murdered that young kid that murdered those two so-called Jews, he was up on the stage and he did the cry thing. You can see that it was fake. But let me open this back up. Close this. Okay, we're back at Jeremiah 50. So, like I said, the reason why I'm right here at Jeremiah 50 is because when he said the Reubenites are the Australians, I said, wait a minute. Don't all the children of Israel supposed to be oppressed together? Like if you go into the hood, you're gonna see a Jake, you're gonna see Reuben, you're gonna see Issachar, you're gonna see Gad, you're gonna see a Brazilian. You might pass a Brazilian, you see a Mexican restaurant, then 2 blocks down, you see a Brazilian restaurant. It says in those days, in that time, saith Yahweh, the children of Israel shall come, and they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping, humbling themselves, being ashamed of themselves, they shall go and seek Yahweh, their power, starting with the elect. And this is a great chapter, man. I love this chapter. I love the 54. Anyway, it says in 29 verse, Jeremiah 50 verse 29, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Now, if you know the history, ancient Babylon wasn't taken down by a war campaign by the Medes. It was a surgical strike. If you go back to the history, it was Darius that put out the order, because he didn't do it. It was him that put out the order that to take the king of Babylon out. And what they were doing, they were drinking, and they saw the handwriting on the wall, literally. And the spirit, many tekel, you can read it and all that. It says your kingdom has been weighed and is found to be wanton, meaning undisciplined, and something to the effect that your kingdom is going to be taken out. And that very night he was taken out. So what's this talking about? Jeremiah 50:29, call together the archers against Babylon. We know that this is talking about missiles. All ye that, and we know that Babylon is talking about America. All ye that bend the bow, that's talking about the silos, camp against it, round about, let none thereof escape. Now they didn't kill off the Babylonian people, which are Assyrians. They killed the king of Babylon and they killed his lords, and they basically just made Babylon a province. All right. It says, therefore, escape, recompense her according to her work, according to, because what did Babylon do? They took over the kingdom of Judah and they enslaved them. According to all that she hath done, do unto her, for she hath been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel. Now we know through the Spirit that this is talking about Babylon the Great. So now let me go to and you might be saying, what's the point? What point are you trying to get at? Well, as Richard Pryor said, there is no point to be made. And I'm just thinking out loud. Anyway, let me go to a blue letter. I mean another blue letter. No, I'm sorry, not a blue letter. Okay, do this. Okay. I always go to the commentary just to see where Esau's head is at. You run into a Christian and they'll say something about the scriptures, and then you tell them, no, it means that. And he said, no, it means this. I said, look, I checked out the scholars. Anyway, Bible Hub. Bible Hub, Jeremiah 50, verse 29. Cambridge Bible for schools and colleges, the archers. There is no doubt right as against, they didn't even say nothing. They didn't even say nothing, man. They don't know. When they don't say too much or they don't say very little, that means they don't have an answer for you. Yeah, they don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, let's try Matthew Henry's concise commentary. I should go to Ellicott's, but let's try Matthew Henry's concise commentary. Jeremiah 50, 21 to 32. The forces are mustered and empowered to destroy Babylon. Let them do what the Most High demands, and they shall bring to pass what he threatens. The pride of man's heart sets the Most High against them and ripens them a pace for ruin. Babylon's pride must be her ruin. And Babylon was not ruined. It became a province of the Medes. the Persian and the Medes. First, the Medes was in power first. She has been proud against the Holy One of Israel. Who can keep those up for the Most High will throw down. So we know that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. All right, this is Matthew Poole's commentary. The word translated arches signify also many and is by diverse so translated, but the following words more justified our translation. The cause of the Most High's calling of Babylonians enemies against her, they didn't say shit. Okay, let's see what Gill's exposition of the entire Bible. Let's see what they got to say. I'm not going to read all of this. It says, call together the archers against Babylon, the Medes and the Persians, which they got that right, but it ain't talking about the actual Medes and the Persians. It's talking about the Russians and the other nations, the Chinese and so forth, who were well skilled in the archery, especially the Elamites. The Elamites, they know that the Elamites are the Persians. And even in the scriptures, the word India is mentioned among the Persians and the Elamites. So the people that you see today that are Pakistani, Indians, and so forth from the east, those are Elamites. Isaiah 22, verse 6. Hence, Horace makes mention of Medai, Pharetra, and Cyprus, says that he had under his command 60,000 men that wore targets and were archers. Now that they could have had them surrounded, but they never shot them. They didn't destroy the people of Babylon. They just enslaved them. They took that land over. Jeremiah 50:9. Let's see what that says. It's going to come up. Some render it many as the Targum, and the sense is either gather many together against Babylon, a large army, or cause many to hear the vengeance against Babylon, publish the good news. So the word used by Pergam signifies, and this will be done by gospel preachers, what? And respect to mystical Babylon, which is Revelation 14, verse 6, which that's what it's actually talking about. So why would they go to mystery Babylon? Let me click on that. King James. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, saying, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, kindred, and tongue. But when you read the whole 14th chapter, it speaks about destruction. Anyway, I don't need to read anymore. Let's come back to Jeremiah. So we know these so-called scholars, they don't know what the hell is going on. They don't know what's going on. It says, Jeremiah 50, verse 29, again, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow. You know that this is talking about modern Babylon, which is America. Camp against it round about. Now it says camp against it round about. Let me do this here. Revelation 20. It says here, I'm going to go to 7 verse, Satan freed doomed. Revelation 20 verse 7. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. So that means when we're in the kingdom, we're gonna be in the kingdom, and then Satan's gonna, Esau's gonna come and take us over again. It says, and when the 1,000 years were expired, the 1,000 years of Esau, when you go back to the first verse, Satan, which is Esau, the Edomites, shall be loose out of his prison and shall go out to deceive. The ultimate deception is an MOTB, the nations, meaning the whole planet, in the oikoumene sense, which are in the four quarters of the earth. So we know this talking about the whole world. That's why this Crown Vic Royale is a global thing. It says Gog and Magog, we know that's dealing with Russia, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth and compass means a circle, the camp of the saints. Camp of the saints are the actual Israelites, and it's the land of what they call Israelite or Palestine. About circle them, and the beloved city. We are the beloved city. First and foremost, Jerusalem is a people before as a place. We are the beloved city. And also it's talking about the Middle East, the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the Levant, the Fertile Crescent. And fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. That's the missiles. And the devil that deceived them, ultimate deception is the MOTB, so you other camps, you better get with the program, was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone. Because when you look down on Babylon itself, it looks like a lake as opposed to a river, where the beast, we know who the beast is, and the false prophet, we know who the false prophet is, from the RCC and all its daughters. And Vocab Malone is part of, he's one of the false prophets. He represents the false prophet. You got Israelites that represent the false prophet. Ricard, the GOC, he represents the false prophet, and many others out there teaching crap, and shall be tormented, and that torment is going to come through the fire day and night, forever and never, meaning a long time. Because you die, once you get hit with fire, you engulfed in flame, you die quick. So the thing that's going to go forever and ever for a long time is Babylon the Great. It's going to be on fire for a long time. I remember when the World Trade Centers went down, and 2 weeks later, we drove past it, man, and there was smoke billowing from, what you saw on TV and Time Magazine. We actually saw it, man. You had a lot of Edomites down there mourning, lighting up candles and whatnot. But that thing went for, I think, 6 months. The smoke just, they said we couldn't do nothing. They just let the smoke keep, going up. So can you imagine a place 2,000 by 2,000, 5,000 miles square, totally engulfed? That's going to, that smoke is going to go up for a couple of years. So this right here, Revelation 20 goes hand in hand with Jeremiah 50 and 29. You know what, I'm gonna read down. I'm reading the 30th verse. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets. And that didn't happen to the ancient pagan Babylonians. It was a surgical strike. Darius put out the order to take out the king and take out his lords. And what did the rest of the kingdom do? They bowed down to the new king, which was Darius at that time. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me see if I can find it. I believe it's either Daniel, I think it's Daniel 6. Daniel chapter 6. Okay, let's see. Daniel's service Darius. Okay, Daniel 6 verse 1. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom and 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom. And part of that kingdom was Babylon. And over these three presidents, of whom, and the president is under king. So guess what? Your current president is taking orders from the queen and the Rothschilds, top elite that you never see, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give account unto them, and the king should have no damage. Let me see if it mentions anything about Babylon. And Daniel was a president over Babylon, if I'm not mistaken. Let me try this. Bear with me for a minute. I know it's not there. Let me do this. Let me try this. So I can show you that it was Darius that put the order out to take out bear with me for a minute. I don't know if I can find this. Okay, I think I found it. Okay, this is in well, I guess I read it, didn't realize it. Ezekiel 6 verse 1. I mean, yeah, Ezekiel, this is Ezekiel. I'm sorry, Ezra. So it's Ezra 6 and 1. Then Darius the king made a decree, gave an order, and search was made in the house of the rolls or scrolls where the treasures were laid up in Babylon. So he had records in Babylon because he took Babylon and made it a province. All right. Well, that's all we got to read. Let's come back here. And let's read the 30th verse. Like I said, I love this chapter. It says, therefore shall her young men fall in the streets. It's not talking about ancient Babylon, it's talking about Babylon the Great. And so Revelation, certain books, Revelation 17, certain books in Revelation, as a matter of fact, let me do this. Let me go to Babylon. Okay, we don't want anything from the Old Testament. Okay, let me click on, I want to go to the New Testament. But the first time it's written in the New Testament, it's in Matthew 1:11. And Josiah begat Jeconias and his brother about the time they were carried away to Babylon. That's ancient Babylon. See, I'm doing this video like I'm studying, like I'm looking up words. So you say, well, how do you find this? You ask me questions. A lot of times you just study, put in words. A word come up, you might go to Google, or you might go to the Blue Letter. You might go to Etymon online. Anyway, it says, okay, First Peter 5, verse 13. It says, the church that is at Babylon elect together with you, salute you, and so doeth Marcus, my son. So these guys from the ITR, and I heard from Apostle Ramla that he was talking about the elder Yashawamba, GMS Dallas camp, that he got some information that they don't even believe in the New Testament anymore. They don't believe in the Messiah. They don't believe in the New Testament. They just believe in the Old Testament. So I went to their page and there was nothing on it. So I don't know where, if he's watching this video, please send me that information. I might ask for it later. I might, go to the comment section and ask him to send me the information on that. But if that's the case, the Most High is taking all of that. Once the New Testament is taken from you, you might as well throw the whole book away, because you can't understand the Old Testament if you don't have the New Testament. That's why these Old Testament guys, they don't understand prophecies in the Old Testament, like in Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, Isaiah 13, Isaiah 34, Joel 3, for that matter, Joel 2. You ask them about them. We're not dealing with the New Testament, because you guys are not about the New Testament, but let's deal with the Old Testament. Psalm 22, what is that all about? So these guys from the ITR, they say that this proves that Babylon is the Roman Catholic Church, because it says the church that is at Babylon. So they're saying that's the Vatican City. That ain't the Vatican City. There were Israelites that were actually living in Babylon. That's what it's talking about. So now let's go to Revelation 14 and 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, is fallen. You know what that means, because she had made nations. We know that it ain't talking about ancient Babylon, it's talking about modern Babylon. Because number one is in the book of Revelation. '16 verse. And the great city was divided into three parts. You got Esau, the nations, and the sons of the power. And the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High to give unto her the cup of the wine of her the fierceness of his wrath, which is Babylon the Great, which will be destroyed by missiles. That's why it says, assemble with your archers in when you go back to Jeremiah 50. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon, which is right here, America, the US, the great, the mother of harlots, the biggest hole on the planet Earth, and an abomination of the earth. That's why if you get locked up, you a man, you get locked up, you can identify yourself as being a woman. I believe I'm a woman, and then they got to put you in a woman's lockup. And then you get a chance to rape the woman. Well, in the male prison, males rape other males. And Esau sees that going on. And Esau doesn't put him to death. So this is the wickedest place on the planet Earth. You hear me? You hear me? This is the wickedest, evilest place on the planet Earth. That's why it has to be destroyed by fire. And vocab Malone will never talk about that. Revelation 18:2. And he cried mighty with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, is fallen. Same thing in Revelation 14. 18:10, Revelation 8, standing afar off for the fear of the torment, saying, alas, alas. And when this place gets hit, it ain't going to be business as usual with the other nations. There's going to be a major supply chain issue because part of that flow of that supply chain is from China and other countries that import stuff to America. That blocks chain. There's going to be a lot of people dying of starvation. There's going to be a lot of people drinking water from a body of water and dying from contamination. Revelation the 8th chapter. So it ain't going to be, and then we're going to come back down to earth, and we're going to come with those superhuman bodies, extraterrestrial / celestial bodies, like the Terminator, and we're just going to line you up. We're going to kill a lot of you, and we're going to gather a lot of you up. That's in Isaiah 24. All right, and we're going to have work assignments, and certain other countries outside of Babylon the Great, we're going to have people digging holes to put bodies in, man, and putting a flag there. There was a dead body, put a flag there. That's in Ezekiel 39. See, once you understand these scriptures, you don't got to ask us questions. Ain't nothing wrong with asking us questions. You know, don't say, oh, please, I don't want to get on your bad side because I got to ask questions. Keep asking your questions. And I'll refer you to a video. Every question that you ask, we done did a video on it. And if we didn't do a video, we will. When you ask a question, oh, I never did a video on it. Let me do a video on that. That's how you learn and you grow. And you got to grow in this thing. All right. So once you understand the scriptures, you go across a prophecy. When you read a particular prophecy, let's go back to Isaiah 34, another one of my favorite chapters. You think about other precepts come to mind, Revelation, Jeremiah, Joel. And then what you understand is anytime you come across a prophecy, whether it be Revelation, Joel, Obadiah, Edom's come up, it'll come to your mind that all these things is the same prophecy, just the Most High just gave it to these different prophets in different ways. One prophet, John, the prophet, the revelator, as they call him, he saw the Lord coming on a white horse. Somebody else saw him coming. Ezra saw him coming on a mountain, what he thought was a mountain. Others have the two men in white in Acts 1 said that they saw the apostles saw him be beamed up into a ship. And he said the same way he went up, he coming back down. That's them ships. So we know it's not a cloud. We know it's not a horse. We know it's not a mountain. We know it's an actual spaceship, so you can understand. So you can link all these together. So you don't have to ask us, what does it, but I mean, watch the videos. But, the scriptures, that's why Isaiah 34, what is that, 16? You cannot make this, matter of fact, let me go to that. And this is why guys fall off. They get all this information going back to the ITR. Not like I'm just getting on them. Let me get on these ITR guys. Let's back off of GOCC and let's get on them. No, I heard Apostle Arimlab say something that Elder Yashawamba said. So I said, it was in my mind, Now, this ITR, they received all these revelations, man. They had the understanding of Joel, the understanding of Isaiah, the understanding of the Revelation. They knew how to link it up. And all of a sudden they said, oh, that doesn't mean that. That means this. The arrows is talking about actual arrows, Ak. It's an ostrich, Ak, inside joke. And then now they're at the point where they stopped teaching. And we told them, you said there's going to be a point where you ain't going to put no more videos up. The Most High going to take the spirit from you. So now they're at the point where I guess they still get together and they're at the point, well, wait a minute, man. No, there ain't no such thing as no New Testament. That was written by the white man. We can only deal with the Old Testament. They're done. Oh, I was watching this one video with this guy, Chief High Priest Grand Poobah Alazar, who main man, my main man. I think he said that, that's my main man. He was talking about this guy, Divine Prospect. Now, I saw a video where some divine prospect said that the earth is flat. Now, if you had a problem with that, I'll direct you to the video. So he's one, and he only deals with the Old Testament. He kind of dabbles in the New Testament, but he's completely lost. He's completely lost. Not saying that he's not sincere, but he's sincerely wrong. He doesn't, what he should have did was got with GMS. What this guy, Captain Tazariak should have did, he should have got with GMS. All them guys should have got with GMS. Al-Azhar should have stayed with GMS. And not totally knocking Al-Azhar and Sakari, because they do some great videos and they go into them scriptures, but they go off. Every once in a while, they make a left turn. They'll go off the course. And then when we get on them, they get mad. When we get on somebody, they get mad, man. You know, it speaks about rebuking somebody that's a fool. See, right now, this guy, the GOCC guy, he pissed off, man. And the Most High is going to destroy him. Did the Most High destroy Rap the News? Because he was teaching crap. Did the Most High destroy without remedy Tazadakia? He sure did. Anyway, with that, the phone keeps ringing. I'm gonna close this. I keep getting phone calls. All right, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.